morning, gang. Today's my 3-month surgiversary. It's July 16th, 2008, and I'm bouncing 209, 210 right now, so I'm officially halfway to goal at my 3-month marker. And I got my period raging like last night, and God, my cramps are just horrendous, and I miss ibuprofen a lot. But liquid Tylenol seems to work okay for me. I had to gulp a whole bunch of it at like 2 o'clock in the morning to try to get back to sleep. So today I'm like blah, but at least I'm not PMSing. Last night I went out for dinner and I thought I was going to rip somebody's head off. The guy next to me was talking on his cell phone, and boy does that tick me off when I'm out in a public place. Take your GD phone outside and have a conversation and scream as loud as you want in the phone in the privacy of the parking lot. You don't need to do it sitting 2 bar stools down from me. That really irked me last night. Anyway, I went to my therapy with my stepmother yesterday, and basically she learned that I'm obviously an adult. I understand what the nutritional requirements are as a post-op person. I have so much room in my pouch to consume food, and she is not to label food good, bad, or call enjoying food cheating. Those are terms that my therapist does not allow me to use. My nutritionist does not allow me to use that either. And my stepmother's relationship with food is very much a love-hate relationship, and she's on the opposite end of the spectrum from me. Where I'm diagnosed binge eating disorder, she actually says at one point she was bulimic. I think she suffered anorexia as well. So we're coming at this from 2 different directions, but the bottom line is there are issues that we have that result in eating disorders. Eating disorders really aren't about the food. It's underlying issues. But she just uses terms that really sabotage me and confuse me and make it harder for me to work through my issues. And it was important for her to understand that every food has nutritional value, period. And your job as a post-op person is to do the math and figure out that this food here and that food here and that food here, add them up, mathematical equation, this is what you end up with. And my job is to do protein first, low carb, low fat, no or very low sugar. That's my job. That's how I live my life. I understand that if I go out and eat high fatty fried foods, I have a real good chance of dumping, and I have a real good chance I'm going to absorb a lot of that into my system, and I'm only hurting myself in the long run. So if I were to choose a fatty fried food, I would have very, very little of it. But that's my choice. And if I've hit my protein requirements for the day, and I've been low carb, low fat for days or weeks at a time, and I choose to introduce a high fatty food into my diet, that's my choice. It's called living in moderation. When you recover from an eating disorder, especially binge eating, you do not restrict. If you put food on a restricted list for me, I will almost blatantly, an hour later, turn around and binge on it. It's part of my eating disorder. So per my nutritionist and my therapist, there is no food that I'm restricted from. I am responsible for myself, and it is my choice to live within moderation. Now, I'll be honest with you all. I am still seriously recovering from this eating disorder, and at this point in time, I do not allow myself the luxury to enjoy food. If I enjoy food too much, I get an urge to binge, and I can't binge. Mentally, I won't let myself binge, and physically, the surgery won't let me binge. But I feel urges to binge, which creates a frustration. So I don't allow myself to enjoy food. That's a reality. I also, this is hard for me to admit, but I've been pretty open up to this point, so I'll just say it. I don't like to eat in front of other people. Especially the very few people that know I had weight loss surgery. I feel like I'm being dissected. I feel like I'm being judged. I feel like I'm a science experiment for them. And I really don't enjoy being the center of attention. And that's how I feel. I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but that's how I feel. I feel like they're watching me. I feel like they're counting every calorie that crosses my lips. I'm very uncomfortable and I'm very self-conscious. And this probably stems back to my binge eating, because when I binged alone. I always binged in private. Something I admitted to my stepmother in therapy yesterday was, say she invited me over for dinner, I would eat like a good little girl in front of her and my father and my brother, and I would never clean my plate, ever. I would eat as slow, if not slower, than everybody else at the table. And I would walk out of her house starving, rush to the first McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's, order 2 meals because I didn't want the drive-through person to know that all that food was just for me. And then I would go home and I would just absolutely consume double cheeseburger, chicken McNuggets, large fries, chocolate milkshake, might even throw in a Big Mac. I mean, I've been known to wolf down enough food for 2 or 3 people. And she didn't know I did that. And I told her that I ate to make her comfortable. I ate the way they expected me to eat and wanted me to eat, and I put up fronts in front of people. And it's something I still deal with post-op. I don't know if I'll ever get over that. It's more around my family than anyone else. My best friend Amber, I have no problem with that. She has never judged me. She's done nothing but make me feel comfortable. So around her, I don't really have a problem. It's funny. It's just around family. I just feel like I need to do what would make them happy and what would make them most comfortable. You know, that's part of low self-esteem and, becoming obese in the first place. You become a people pleaser. You doubt yourself and you have no confidence, so you want to make everybody else around you feel comfortable, and you want to meet all of their expectations and do what's best for them. So I have a long way to go. I just still need to get through one day at a time, and hopefully, and really I don't see this happening for a long time, have a better relationship with food where thinking about food and consuming food isn't such a struggle. And I just have to stay focused on the task at hand, which is hitting goal and having a normal BMI, maintaining and being healthy, being fit. You can be a normal BMI but be unhealthy, high cholesterol and da-da-da-da. So, my goal is to be fit and healthy and normal BMI, be able to maintain that, and then hopefully have a better relationship with food. That's my goal. So to anyone else out there who suffers with their relationships with food, I feel your pain. It really sucks. Sometimes I wish I was just simply a drug addict or an alcoholic, because you don't have to drink alcohol to live, and you don't have to do drugs to live, but you have to eat. And having an eating disorder sucks. It just really sucks, because I wish I could just put food down and never have to touch it again and just go cold turkey and move on with life. But the fact that I have to eat to live means I don't have a choice, and I have to work through this, and it just sucks. So anyway, I hope everyone else is doing well, and I'll catch up with y'all later on. Take care, everybody.